Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, aka BGFH, and I'm back for another E3 2018 video. I was gonna wait for tomorrow, at least till after at least one or two of the events tomorrow, but man, I was looking forward to Bethesda's press briefing because I was pretty sure, I knew of a few things that I would see there that we would get to see. But man, there's a lot there that I really, really want to play. Um, so I'm just going to talk about it right now, and this will just be another bonus video that'll go up here very shortly after I'm done recording this. So they talked about a lot of different things in this press briefing, but I love, even they were, throughout the whole thing, they were definitely self-aware to the point of okay, we had to throw a little jab at the Walmart leak and, kind of unveiling Rage 2 before they really meant to. And my favorite, my favorite joke, though, I'm going to play this. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for it, but I'm going to click on this trailer that, they're like, oh, we know you're here to, we showed you a whole bunch of stuff, but this is what you're really here to see. And I'm not even going to say what it is. I wish this was real because it's freaking hilarious. I love this. This is great. Check this out.
Well, I think we have the best one yet.
The Elder Scrolls speak of the past and the future. Now, Skyrim looks to the future, to its ultimate version.
This is the best.
Alexa, play Skyrim.
You're level 57 and see a tall snowy mountain.
Climb it.
Now, Skyrim and life become one.
A mud crab scuttles towards
First
you.
Roda.
I didn't catch that.
First Roda.
I didn't quite catch that.
First Roda.
Your shout echoes all the way to Sovngarde.
What happened?
First Roda. That's the command for knocking things over.
Is there a command for picking shit up?
Haven't reached that level yet.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
Ooh.
The dragon unleashes fire breath on you.
Okay.
You have 7% health left.
Oh, shit. I drink a health potion.
You are out of health potions.
How many wheels of cheese do I have left?
473.
Nice.
I eat all the cheese. I eat all of the cheese. All of it.
Hey, hun. Remember what the doctor said about dairy?
Yes. Right, yes, of course. You're the greatest. Thank you so much. I eat all of the cheese.
Introducing Skyrim, very special edition. Also coming soon to Etch-a-Sketch, Motorola Pagers, and your Samsung smart refrigerator.
Isla Noose. Oh, that's cool.
All right, I had to do that. So yeah, of course the joke is, for those not in the know, Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim has been ported to dang near everything at this point, and I really need to cover the game on my channel. I actually installed Elder Scrolls Oblivion again because there's actually a recent part 1 of a documentary leading up to Fallout 76 here that I've mentioned No Clip before. The No Clip documentaries. They've done some excellent documentaries so far, game documentaries on, on Doom and, let's see, God, Rocket League. There's been probably a good, half a dozen or more of documentaries, and the recent one did kind of the history of Bethesda leading up to Fallout Vaults 76. And man, just seeing some of that footage again, and I really want to go back and play Oblivion and Skyrim again, especially since I haven't finished Skyrim. But God, when am I gonna find time? I just need to take a year off and just binge. It's insane. But I had to show you guys that because it was hilarious. You know, they're like, okay, we're gonna show you Fallout. No, we're gonna troll you a little bit. We know we've ported. At first I thought they were gonna do like a demake to, you know, like, oh, here's an 8-bit version that we're gonna put on like, you know, put on Steam or something that would be just like a, you know, like an overhead or 2D side scroller or something, just because. But this was better, and the funny thing is, I know how some of these originally some of these projects turn into, you know, they're jokes at first, and then they're like, you know, we're actually going to make this. So the funny thing is, I would totally play some kind of a text adventure Skyrim on my Echo. So you know what, guys? Funny as hell, but make it happen. Go for it next year. You know what? Why the heck not? Anyway, on to the real meat of the video. I'm not going to have anything in the background. We're just going to talk Bethesda. We're going to roll through it right here. Got my channel showing up here. I can just stare at that for a little bit, but we're just going to talk some games, because boy howdy, there was a lot of them that I'm interested in. Of course, they had the leak for Rage 2, last week? Showed kind of a live action, just kind of over-the-top crazy trailer. They finally showed some gameplay footage, and it looks really, really fun. I'm definitely going to try to do a original video, or video for the original Rage. I do have it installed on my machine, and I kind of want to play it again, too. Again, where am I going to find time? But, you know, it's really funny because the press conference started, I'm like, oh, this is pretty weak. There was some videos, there was some really kind of cheesy stuff, there was some talking. And I was like, oh boy, are they just padding it out because they don't have a lot to talk about? Turns out, no. They actually had quite a bit to talk about. And like I said, the gameplay footage for Rage 2 looked pretty good. It kind of had this really fast but crazy, you know, like, it definitely was not realistic. It was really over the top. You had some weird kind of gadgets that I wasn't quite sure what was going on. There was like cool weapons and melee attacks and grenades and weird stuff flying around. Like, just, you know, it seems fast and bloody and fun and just completely over the top, which is definitely a change from the original. Very much looking forward to playing that game. I think we're going to have to wait till next year, though, unfortunately. And so then they went into Elder Scrolls Legends. They're basically relaunching it, redoing it, again with better graphics and everything. This is their Elder Scrolls card game, admittedly, that I'm not that interested in. I might be interested if they would actually make the cards voiceover accessible, should I want to play that on mobile, but I just don't think they do. I don't know if it's, I don't know what engine that game is built in, but it does not, it's probably not going to work with voiceover, so it's going to be a little hard to see. I'm not going to be able to really play that, so. Moving on, they kept going in the Elder Scrolls theme, Elder Scrolls Online. And for that one, yeah, they're adding some new content, adding some new areas and all kinds of different things. They're doing, like, you know, usually a fair number of new add-ons each year, and we got a couple more of them coming this year. So, again, that's something I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know if I'm really gonna play. I'm not quite sure what the combat is like, what the, you know, how much text there is to read, that kind of a thing. I might look into it eventually. But I like the more traditional solo Elder Scrolls games. Again, I mentioned Oblivion, Skyrim, etc. Here we go. This is what I really wanted, but we're not getting it, I don't think, until next year. I'm almost certain we're not getting it till next year. They're going to really unveil it at QuakeCon this summer. But Doom Eternal, hell yeah. We're going to get some more single-player Doom. Basically, they said, okay, the Doom guy, the Doom Slayer, he's going to be more badass. You're going to get some new weapons. You're going to get double the types of enemies. Kind of like Doom 2, Hell on Earth. You're going to, you know, it's going to be kind of this hell invading Earth. Bring it on. I can't wait to play more single-player Doom. Yeah, I want to know more, and I want to play it now. awesome. They showed a little bit of like teaser footage. Not much, but enough for me to know that, yes, I really, really want to play that. Quake Champions. Now, this is a game I remember playing, like I said, I think I've told you on the channel, I played the hell out of the original Quake online. Quake 3 Arena, I played a lot of. I played probably almost as much, if not more, of Quake 3 Arena. Never got into the Team Arena much. Didn't play Quake 4. Well, actually, I tried to play Quake 4 online, and I don't know what was. It just felt different than Quake 3, and I just completely got my butt kicked. I got wrecked, and I'm just like, no, we're gonna move on. Quake Champions is, your online deathmatch and other modes kind of a thing. But there, it is kind of, the recent trend of having things like Overwatch where you have different, like, characters that you can choose from that, you have your core weapons and power-ups and things that you get in the levels. But each character has their own abilities and such. And I've played a little bit of it. I think I picked up the full version when it was on sale a while back. It's still technically, I think it's still in like an early access or beta form. They said this week, if you want to give it a shot, you can download the game for free. It's going to be a week-long trial through this week. And if you download it this week, not only can you play it this week, but you will be able to continue playing it afterwards since you downloaded it this week. So, hey, you know what? It's free. You can extend the time that you can play it if you download it now. And this video will be going up right away, so you shall have plenty of time to do that if you wish. And yeah, Quake Champions. I may need to check that out at some point too, especially since we'll be getting more of an influx of players. Hopefully some other newbies that suck as bad as I do, so I don't just completely get wrecked. Let's see, what else do we... Oh yes, Prey. I covered Prey on the channel last year. Very, very cool game. Kind of reminded me of, like System Shock and BioShock to a degree, but kind of, they just had this really neat, like, System Shock kind of a feel to it. First-person shooter, but it was more like an RPG. You could, level up. You could basically build your skill trees. How, if you wanted to be a hacker, you wanted to do more melee, you wanted to do all kinds of different things. Definitely go check out my Prey video, and you can find out more about the game. But as of tonight, they have added a whole bunch of content updates, a free download to this game. You have some new modes, especially one which I am kind of curious about. They have a story mode, and I think these are basically some different difficulties. So like for me, I'm guessing basically what they'll do in story mode is they'll tone down a lot of the difficulty. Maybe you'll get better like cash rewards so you can upgrade your character faster. Maybe you'll do maybe the enemies will do less damage, but it's going to basically focus on, again, letting you play through the game and experience the story if that's what you want to do. And again, you could also think of that to be an accessibility feature, for the people who can't react to it as quick enough, or again, for me, like if you can't see some of the things really far away, or there's something that prohibits you from playing the game on its original difficulty settings. Story mode, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know the exacts of it because they didn't go into it, but I definitely kind of want to check that out because I still actually haven't finished Prey. As I've recorded these first couple of videos, I almost should keep a tally of like how many games have I mentioned in this video so far and the previous EA and Microsoft video. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta add that to my pile of shame. I gotta add that to my pile of shame. Something that I haven't finished or haven't played. Yeah, the list just keeps growing. But in addition to story mode, there's a new game plus feature. So people want to play through the game again, but actually keep all of their upgrades and weapons and such. They can do that. That's going to make a lot of people happy. And I'm not exactly sure what the other mode was called, but I think it's more like a survival type mode where it's, it just, I think, makes it a lot harder for you. And then there's some new DLC. I think it's coming soon. And it's called Moon Crash. Basically, it's like a randomly generated or a procedurally generated level type of thing that gives you, like, oh, after you beat the campaign, you can try to go through these, escape this moon base, fight all these enemies and try to escape, survive and escape. So that's kind of cool. And then another thing that's coming, what is it called? I think I have it written down. Oh yes, the Typhon Hunter mode. This is a mode that I think takes good advantage of what Prey is. Remember, Prey had those mimic enemies, those scary little spidery, inky looking things that could basically take the shape out of inanimate objects. So you could be walking through and you could kind of tell that they were there, but if you weren't paying attention, you could get a jump scare pretty easily. They could take the shape of a coffee mug, a chair, a table, something else on the table, all kinds of things. Well, now it's basically like, 1-on-4, so you can play one person as a player, as a human character, and the other 4 can be mimics, and you guys are gonna try to kill the character. That sounds pretty fun, and on top of that, later on, they announced that mode is also going to support virtual reality. So, oh man, I can just imagine playing as the regular player and like getting creeped out by those mimics in VR. That sounds like a fun time. Definitely might want to try that out. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming to Prey. Wolfenstein 2. I still wish there was a way to easily go back. There's like 2 or 3 chapters right in the middle of the game that I really want to show you because they were so badass. I mean, there's 2 or 3 major areas in that game that are just, beyond what I showed you in the original Wolfenstein 2 video. The game just goes in some really nuts, crazy places. And now we're getting a new game in that, and it is called Young Blood. So remember the original, you had Wolfenstein the New Order, Wolfenstein the Old Blood. Wolfenstein the Young Blood is now going to take place in the 1980s, apparently, and things are still pretty miserable. And you're actually going to be playing as one of B.J. Blazkowicz's daughters. And yes, I said young blood, and I said, 2 daughters, meaning you can play this as a solo campaign or with another player via co-op. So yeah, single player and co-op, more Wolfenstein. Count me in. I'm so ready to play that. That sounds like a fun time, because I enjoy the hell out of the other games. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, actually, this is where they mentioned the VR stuff. So they talked about, okay, we already have Doom VFR, we have Skyrim, and we have Fallout VFR, or Fallout VR, those kind of things. They're doing a Wolfenstein VR experience, and they're doing the Prey VR experience where you can play that Typhon mode, or you can play, there's like a single player puzzly mode kind of a thing too. So those, I think, are both coming out either later this year or within the next year or so. So there's a couple more VR content things coming from Bethesda. So again, a lot more things that I'm interested in. Yes, and then we get into Fallout 76. Oh, before I talk about Fallout 76, so they did talk about Fallout Shelter. Remember, this is, I didn't cover the game because I thought it might be a little bit hard to see on mobile when it launched. But Fallout Shelter came out around the time, it came out before Fallout 4 did, and you were basically managing a vault. You know, it's kind of like one of those little simulation games where you manage the people and different things that are happening inside of your vault. There's been other games kind of like, you know, the Tiny Tower and things like that, those types of games. But I think it did actually come to PC at some point too, so, you know, maybe I can more easily check that out on a bigger screen. But they did announce, as of today, I believe, you're now going to be able to play that Fallout Shelter, again, for free on PlayStation 4 and the Switch. So if you want to play some Fallout Shelter on the Switch, in portable, either with the Joy-Cons or the touchscreen, go for it. I guess you can right about now. Now we get to Fallout. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Fallout 76. So remember they teased that last week, and boy, this game sounds really interesting. You're going to have your traditional kind of single-player mode that you can play. You know, you're going to go through the wasteland. Basically, this is Vault 76 is like the first vault where people came out of after the nukes went off. And so you play a character, you can go do quests and, you know, do your usual Fallout stuff like you can in 3 and 4. You can do that by yourself, but where this game is going to be really interesting is that they have all these dedicated servers, and you can also play this thing totally always online. So I guess everybody, I don't know if there are going to be some computer-controlled NPCs in that mode or not, but basically you're going to be able to, like, everybody in the world is an actual player, and you never know what they're going to do. So they were showing these little snippets of video and kind of describing like how that's going to work, and I still have a lot of questions, but it sounds really entertaining and potentially really fun, but also could be potentially really frustrating or very chaotic. Maybe a little bit of all of the above. Because basically, like I said, everybody is online, and you never know how you're going to react. You know, you can form alliances, you can do quests, you can fight other people, you can basically build strongholds anywhere you want to, and then move them. Now, here's the interesting part. They also said, they're like, what would happen? I mean, this is basically just giving humanity, like, this is like a scary look into what would actually happen in real world, because, you know, our world right now is so fucked up as it is. We're all, you know, crazy and, like, divided and against each other. So they're like, yeah, by the way, what would happen, this game takes place in, like, West Virginia, by the way. But they're like, yeah, so what would happen if, you know, okay, you have all your quests, you have all your people, you have your real world, you have all the regular chaos that can ensue. But what if we added nuclear missiles? What if we added some nukes just hanging out in these bunkers or these bases, hanging them out in the world, and the players could just do what they wanted with them? So it's basically up to the entire online community what happens to the actual world. So I don't know if, like, things are going to reset over time or, like, how the progression is going to go, but basically what it seems like is, like I said, there's these different nuke launch sites, and you have to find, you kill certain people, I guess, or something, and you get a little bit of a code that will unlock the vault or those sites. And then if you have part of a code, let's say, and then somebody else has part of a code, so you don't have to necessarily have the entire access code yourself, but if you can pool together with some people, and then you can target, like, whatever you want. Like, if you want to wage war against some other faction that, like, you know, ruined your day and you know where their hideout is, instead of storming in, you can go try to take out you can go try to take on, go get a nuke and just cause chaos. So I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of questions. I'm very intrigued to see like what that's going to be. There is going to be a beta coming up, but the game actually launches. Fallout 76 is going to launch in November again this year. So it's, again, short turnaround time to launch that game. And especially since it does have some single player, even if the multiplayer doesn't work out to the way I might like to play, I'm still going to be interested because I do want to play the single player. And you never know. Maybe Jawbreaker and I can hook up and and can do something as well. I don't know. And I thought they were done there, but they weren't. They weren't. Todd Howard, he's the guy that's been doing a lot of the Elder Scrolls, the Fallout games over the past several years. He came out to do all the, that's the guy that was in the very beginning of that video. Is like, hey, we made the best one. That's Todd Howard. And when they were doing that Alexa thing. But they did, so they talked about Fallout 76. And then they're like, oh, by the way, here's some other stuff we're working on. And one of them is going to come out later this year, presumably. This is pretty crazy. Elder Scrolls Blades. So, it's a mobile game, at least to start with. They were talking about, oh, okay, we're going to have it on the iPhone 10. They're going to, so it's probably going to be iPhone and Android. They said later on, they said they're going to try to put it on whatever platform you want to play. So I could presumably see this coming to consoles, the PC, the Switch. But it sounds like it's going to start its trek on mobile. And this seems to be, they showed some footage, and he basically was saying it is a full-blown, like, Elder Scrolls-esque adventure. You can basically tap to move, or you can use dual analog sticks and freely move around. You have a few different modes. You can do like an endless survival, like a roguelike final, like a roguelike dungeon where you see how far you can get before you die. There's a player versus mode, and there's the main kind of a story campaign mode where basically you come to some town that you lived in, you find out that it's been destroyed, and you have to go on quests and rebuild it, and you're going through the actual open, like it's an open world Elder Scrolls game with dungeons and all kinds of stuff on a phone or tablet. Like, I will play this on the tablet, the iPad Pro, because it'll be much easier for me to see when it hits iOS. But man, like I said, I feel like I really have to show you. I really have to play Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim just to give you an idea. I mean, you've seen me play Fallout 4 a little bit. I did a spotlight video for Fallout 4. Think about that in medieval times, but I mean, think about, like you're playing that on a portable device, like an open world kind of a thing. That's nuts. But the most crazy thing about this is said, not only is it going to be coming out soon, but it's going to be free. That in a way that's excellent, that's awesome, and I don't know how the heck they're doing it, but what worries me is that, okay, this is free, but are you going to microtransaction the hell out of this thing? And are you going to take all the potential fun out of it by basically walling everything off behind some sort of paywall or continuous paywall? Like I said, I don't mind paying for it. Like if I had to pay $20 or whatever to play this mobile game on my iPad or Steam or wherever, I would totally do it. I just don't want to be like, oh, well, in order to keep playing, I got to spend $10 here, $10 there. And by the time you start really getting into the game, the only way to keep playing is you're forking over literally hundreds of dollars, a la most modern mobile titles. So I want to say, just on Bethesda's previous track record, I don't think they're going to do that. But there is that slight worry in the back of my mind, just because it is mobile, and I know how mobile works. So yeah, that I'm very intrigued about. I mean, dude, if I could play an open world game that controlled well, that played well on either my iPad or my phone, yeah, why not? That'd be pretty cool. Elder Scrolls Blades. And then they weren't done yet. They teased. Then they teased a couple things that they're working on for like the next couple of years. So they're busy, busy folks over there. The next thing they did, just a little logo teaser, Starfield. So presumably it's a single player. It's going to be their next big single player title. It's more than likely going to be, of course, set in space, probably sci-fi, probably guns. But yeah, I'm very curious to know what this is going to be. If it's, remotely like Mass Effect, or like, taking the Bethesda style RPG into space. Okay, sure. I'll bite. I would totally like to try that out. And it's their first original franchise, for first original IP in a long time. So that's pretty awesome. And then they said, yes, they're already kind of starting to get work on the Elder Scrolls 6. So they are thinking way ahead. Again, they just did like a nice little wilderness scene, and then the Elder Scrolls 6 title. That's probably going to be, I would say, at least probably 4 or 5 years out. You never know. But yeah, so they're working on, like I said, we got all the stuff that's coming out this year and next year, and then these couple of big things with Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls game. You got mobile stuff, VR stuff, console, PC. Yeah, like I said, the first few minutes I was kind of worried because the show started out pretty slow, but once they hit their stride, I'm like, oh, I want to play that, I want to play that, I want to play all this right now. I want to play Rage 2, I want to play Doom Eternal, I want to play those right now. Really looking forward to Wolfenstein, Young Blood, the Fallout stuff, the Elder Scrolls stuff. Yeah. This is pretty much, except for like the Elder Scrolls Legends and like the Elder Scrolls Online, the MMO kind of a thing. Other than that, like everything else, I pretty much wanted to try. I wanted to play. So that is just my thoughts on the Bethesda press briefing. I was going to wait for tomorrow, but again, there's just like so much. And again, genuine surprises. I didn't know that crazy mobile stuff was going to come. That actually looks pretty good for Elder Scrolls. I mean, we thought that the Fallout 76 was going to be some sort of online thing, but we got confirmation that it's going to be single player. But if you want to, yes, you're going to be in completely a weird and new, crazy, chaotic. I mean, it's not instanced or anything like on a certain server. It's just going to be this weird, Wild West of insanity in the post-nuclear wasteland. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Depending on how these there's just going to be, like I said, at least 4 sessions, 4 more briefings tomorrow. So I don't know, but I'm guessing within the next day or two, we're going to do at least another video or two. And remember, I'm going to be recording the Blind Bargains podcast episode later this week on probably Tuesday evening. So whenever the next episode of that comes out, I will probably have some stuff to say there as well. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79. That way you will get links to these videos. You will get links to that podcast when it does come out. And amongst other things, maybe some live tweets as I'm watching these things over the next couple days. I did post a few tweets so far throughout these conferences or briefings, whatever. But yeah, you know, EA was kind of, not really a strong start, but yeah, today, boy, there's a lot of games I want to play. Between Microsoft and Bethesda, a lot of stuff. So, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, hope you liked the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And I will definitely be back for more E3 stuff soon. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Later.